Well, look at me. I'm actually proceeding to my next video. I don't know how to start it, how to begin it, but this is how we do it. I just came back from work now. As you can see, I'm still in my uniform. Do not ask me where I'm working because I will not tell you. But I was thinking of the next video and I said I want to speak a bit more about myself, where I come from, what I do, what I plan on doing in the future, and what my ambitions are. So let's get it. The first thing I always try to do when I come from work, if I didn't pray at work, I always make sure I come home, I finish my Maghrib and Isha prayers to end the day, because you're gonna need spiritual guidance, you're gonna need God, you're gonna need Allah for everything you need to do in your life. So it's important to pray. So this is one of my daily routines. I wasn't the guy that had any luck with trying to find a job or trying to, find my way in this life. After high school, things went sideways for me. Like, it wasn't as good as I thought life would be after high school. Because now I had to do things on my own. Like, I didn't go to university. My marks wasn't that great because I didn't focus much on academics. I was more like the sports type of person. Like, my goal in life was to become a professional soccer player. But in South Africa, as you know, if you're not a certain color, skin tone, and you don't have any people in the industry that you want to get in, it's practically impossible to get where you want to be. So I carried on with life. I tried getting a job for 2 years. I had no luck at all. Like, I tried to get a job. I applied for hundreds of places. I walked to so many places, and I just applied and left my CV at the most random shops, at the most weirdest shops. I just applied. I couldn't get a job. Nothing was working for me. Like, I didn't give up. Obviously, I cannot give up. Like, I have no one as a backup. Like, I don't have family members that's gonna fund my dream. I didn't have any siblings that's gonna help me go after what I want in life, So I had to find my own way. I had to pave my own road to success. So I used to be the type that used to sit in the park with my friends and stuff, and we used to look at all these other people have cars. Like, the kids that went to school with us, who were younger than us, they finished high school and they got a Golf, they got a Mercedes, they got BMWs, and we're the type that we like, what did we do wrong in life? But obviously they had daddy's money. They had family, they could back up their dreams and stuff like that. We didn't have none of that there. So my goal was like, my friends are talking about these guys having cars, having money, making a way in life, they're having girlfriends and stuff like that. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna be sitting here admiring other people's success and seeing them accomplishing things, and I'm just gonna be here like, wow, you did it, congratulations. So I was like, fuck it, fuck it. I want to be the type my friends can talk about. So I started looking for jobs. Every day I started walking 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers. I was just trying to find a job, whichever job it was. But I found part-time jobs here and there. It wasn't much. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't find anything that I wanted to do because the money was so low. But I didn't give up. That's one thing about me. I don't give up at anything, no matter what. So you see, after seeing everybody else succeeding, they're getting cars, they're getting money, they're having girlfriends and stuff like that. It seems like everybody just wants to have a girlfriend. Some of them want hoes, obviously, but everybody wants a girlfriend once they get a job, because there's no point living a life single if you already satisfied with like your current situation. Like, if you have a job, you have a car, you have money, the one thing you need to add to your list is having somebody that you can spend time with, somebody that can fulfill the other part of your life that money and cars can't do. Anyways, life carried on. So I wanted to work on a plan to get money. Obviously, I couldn't save up enough money to buy a car cash, whichever car it was. I tried going to the banks, I tried to get loans, none of that was working. I'll explain everything that in the next video. So I was like, what's the next plan? Like, I started watching YouTube videos, I started reading books, I started educating myself. Like, even though I had no job, I started educating myself in case when I do find a job, I'm prepared and I already know what I have to do next. As life goes on, I've got a job, life is good. I worked. Sometimes 7 days a week. On my off days, I work. I wanted to learn more. So instead of just being somebody that works, I wanted to be somebody that can learn from the business. Like, how does the business run? Like, what do managers do? What do the boss do? What process go behind running a business? So I used to like talk to my boss. He used to educate me. He used to teach me something, tips and tricks. He gave me advice. He started letting me do interviews. So I get into the mode of a supervisor, a manager. When I started doing interviews, he wanted me to learn the basics of interviewing people. Like, what should I look for in a person to work with me? Like, we had like a rating, we have different questions and how we rate them according to the responses and stuff like that. So I had an idea, okay, this is what supervisors do, this is what bosses do, this is how they get people to come into the company, and this is the process behind it. Okay, fine, carry on. Then I was like, I need a car, man. Like, I need a car. Everybody started getting cars. My friends from high school started getting cars. And the people that got cars, these are my close friends, they got cars, they never met up with me once. Maybe because they thought I was an expense, I was a burden to them. I don't know, I will not ask the question to them, but let them live their life. So I was like feeling kind of shitty, like I wasn't content where I was. So I needed to figure out a way to get a car, whichever car, as long as I just put my name on a paper so I can be proud, so I can say, okay, one step further, one step further, one step further. But because I still felt like I'm stuck in the same spot 24/7, weeks, months, years, I felt like I'm gonna be in the same spot. So I came up with a plan. I was like, okay, let me look around at cars that are just standing outside, nobody's using it, nobody wants to take care of it. Let me offer some deal to this one old guy. So I spoke to him. I was like, I really want a car, like I'll fix this car, and I really like classic cars, like I like old cars. So this car is like in my range of ideas of what I would want. So I told him I'd give him a deposit and then I'd pay him off in the next 2 months. He was a bit skeptical about the deal, but his son knew me from school, so he was a bit skeptical about the idea, but the deal went through. We shook hands, he gave me the car, he kept the papers, I paid him for the 2 months, I got the car to my house. I was like, okay, now that I got the car, and I didn't pay cash for it, like I didn't have the full amount for the car, I paid it in installments, like deposit and 2 installments, so that's done. So I was like, okay, now if I sell this car, I'll have enough money on one hand to pay for another car or deposit for another car. That was a smart move. Like everybody thought, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're buying an old car, it's gonna cost you more money to fix up. I was like, shut your mouth, boy. Let me do it my way. Finally, I sold the car, I took the money and I used it towards another car. This is 1 year. I took the money to another car and I bought a Corsa Light. Very nice car. I was happy with it, I was content with it, but I was like, that's not enough, man. Like, if I can do 2 cars in 1 year, why can't I do 3 cars in 1 year? As time goes on, my uncle, he has a Mercedes parked in my yard, and I was like, I really like this Mercedes, man. Like, I was with my friend Devil, and we late at night, we chilling, look at this car, like, oh man, this car just sitting here, this has to be mine, and it has to be. So I offered my uncle some money. He's like, no, it's priceless. I asked him why. He's like, it's gonna cost too much to fix. I'm like, it's okay, man. Like, just give me the car and pay me for it. Then eventually, after a couple of months, he agreed to it. He gave me the car. I was happy. I was content. Not really. I wasn't really content. I got the car working in 1 week because the Mercedes engine got done up, but it was only small problems like the spark plugs, the brakes, like normal stuff. I fixed that in 1 week, so that's good. I just couldn't stand the fact that I was older than some of these kids, but they are driving cars. So I just couldn't just relax. I just couldn't be content with it, and I just worked. Like I said, I didn't have much luck with anything. Before I got the cars, I was very determined to get where I needed to be, regardless of what situation, regardless of any conditions, my environment, the people I was around with. I just had to make sure that I stuck to my road, I stuck to my side of the lane, and I focused on where I need to go. I used to walk 10 kilometers every night from where I worked to home. I'll show a screenshot if you don't believe me. 10 kilometers every night, I was to walk home, and eventually I was like, nah man, let me find another way of transportation because taxis at night, like 11 o'clock at night, there wasn't any taxis, and the taxis that would pass my area, they'd go straight to town, so it would have been a bit of a problem if they had to drop one person off just go the other direction. But like fine, I'll just walk. I walked. I didn't care about nothing. I didn't care if I was tired. I didn't care if I got robbed. Thank God nothing happened to me. I didn't care about none of that there, but I was determined to get where I needed to be. So I moved from walking. I bought myself a BMX, a Mongoose. Like this was my dream bicycle as a kid. Like I've always asked my family, my uncles, please buy me this, but nobody wanted to. Like I'm the type, okay, I'll ask you once. If you don't want, I will get it myself, regardless of the situation. So eventually, I got the Mongoose. There's a picture of it. I was happy with it, man. Like I was really happy. Like I was like, okay, I went from walking to riding my dream bicycle. I was like, fine, I got it. One step at a time. I had the bicycle for a couple of months. It was good, man. Like I was traveling faster to work, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Coming home from work would take me about 40, 45 minutes. And I was enjoying the views. At night I would like think about, okay, what's the next move? What I have to do next? Like if this is the way for me to level up, I would do it. Like I started praying every day. I was like, God, protect me while I'm taking this route. Because it was late at night, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, and I had to use a bicycle. So I had to pray. I was telling God, I was like, I understand my situation. I need to work harder. If I can go from walking to getting a bicycle, I'm sure I can level up to getting a car. And that's when I started getting the motivation of getting a car. But before that as well, one thing I should advise is like, even if you don't have a car right now, every day, well not even every day, like every now and then, go to marketplace, look at the cars that you want, look at the prices, see like negotiate, just negotiate. Even if you're not gonna buy the car, negotiate, learn some skills, learn how to speak to people. Like my dream car will always be a Honda Civic. I was so close to owning a Honda Civic. It may not be a complete car, but I would have gotten a shell, like no engine, no gearbox, but everything was there. The interior, the body was good, the wheels, everything was there. I spoke to this guy on Facebook. I was like, man, like I really want this car. I may not have the full money now, but I really want this car. He had the car listed with papers, a license up to date. I think it was about 12,000. And I was like, please, man, like I really want this car. Would you work out this deal with me? Like, can I offer you this amount and then I pay you off? He's like, no, he needs the money urgently because he's working on another project car. So we were talking back and forth. He showed me his under Honda Civics. I was like, yo, like I really want a Honda Civic. But then I didn't have the money. I couldn't come up with the money fast enough. Like he offered, he's like, okay, I understand. He's like, okay, I understand that you want a Honda Civic. I understand that you're very passionate about this car. I can see how much you like it, and you're a young kid. Like I'm sure you can do a lot with it. And he's like, okay, I'll give it to you for 9,000. See, he dropped it, man. Like I was like 9,000 for a full shell with license, up to date papers, everything. I just couldn't get the money for it. Like I've asked my uncles, I've asked so many people, everybody denied me. That's always the case, man. Like nothing's ever easy. Like for me, family is important, but also family is not really that important. Like you have to be independent regardless. Like never ask for a handout. They shut me down, man. Like they just shut me down. But it's cool now. Look at me now. I got 2 cars. Living in Qatar, and yeah, it's all good now. I still don't feel content though. Like I still don't feel content. I still feel like there's so much more to this world. And having succeeded just 1% of what I want, 1% of what I desire, I still look back at it as motivation and be like, if I can do that, there's so much I can do because I have no luck at all. Like I didn't grow around with rich parents. I grew up having to do my own shit. I had to be independent from a very young age. In high school, I had to sell stuff to make my own money. I had to pay for my own stuff from a young age. And the most powerful thing is being independent, regardless of anyone or anything or any situation. Once you learn independence, man, like nothing will stop you. Once you learn that you have responsibilities to follow your dreams, you have responsibilities to get what you want. Nobody's gonna help you. get what you want. You have to help yourself. Like you need God. Like the only being, I'm not gonna say person, the only being that you ever need in your life is God. Like yes, family is important, but they are there to support you. They are there to criticize you. They are there to pick you up where you left off. They're there to pick you up when you're down and stuff. But God, like God is the only being that you'll ever need, that you'll ever talk to. If you don't have a best friend, if you don't have a girlfriend, speak to God. I promise you, speak to God. This man is powerful. Like he is powerful. Every time I would cry, like I would walk 12 o'clock at night, I was scared, man. I was cold, I was hungry, I was tired. I wanted to give up. This night where I just wanted to sit on the side of the road and be like, fuck it, I'm tired, like I can't carry on anymore. I'm asleep on the side of the road and I go home after an hour or so. But I pray to God, just keep me safe. I will go through whatever you want me to go through to learn these lessons. But as long as you're with me, I will go through it regardless of any situation, regardless how cold it is, regardless of the distance, regardless of the situations I'm in, the environment I'm in. As long as you are with me, I feel protected, I feel inspired, I feel strong, I feel you're the only being that can support me and understand what I want in life and where I need to be. Speak to God. Like there's one advice I can give you: speak to God. This man listens. For me, I believe every time you speak to God, it's like building a bridge. Like if you take a cotton wool and put line on the other side of the bridge, it will not be strong enough the first few times, but if you keep going back and forth with the cotton wool, the bridge will become strong enough for you to cross over, for blessings to come over. That's how I see it. If you keep talking to God every day, speak to Him, whatever situation. You don't have to close your eyes and pray. Wherever you are, if you're walking, speak to God. Mentally, speak to Him. You don't have to verbally say anything. Don't put on status how God is giving this. God doesn't have WhatsApp. God doesn't have Instagram. God doesn't have Facebook. Stop praying your prayers on social media. Speak to Him. Speak to Him. Once you build a communication and bridge, the blessing starts flowing. Once you build a bridge with a cotton wool, just communicate back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until the bridge is strong enough. God will send you blessings. I promise you, God will send you blessings. Just don't give up. I went from having no job, no friends, no girlfriends, no money, no ambitions, no hope in life. Like I almost gave up in life. I just wanted to fuck it, man. There's nothing to live for. There's nothing for me in South Africa. There's nothing for me. I tried, I failed, but I didn't give up. I was determined to get where I needed to be, regardless of any fucking situation, because I'm a fucking legend. And I don't say I'm a legend just for anything. I say it because I need to believe it, and I need you to believe it, and I'll keep saying it until we both fucking believe it. Salute.